video is brought to you, as I mentioned earlier. The sponsor of this particular episode is the NEWbraska Roundtable. I'm talking about the NEWbraska, N-E-W, not regular Nebraska, NEWbraska, the NEWbraska Roundtable. Now, I've been a part of these kinds of things before. NEWbraska Roundtable is similar in that you get business owners, or maybe sales managers, but usually business owners, and they talk openly and candidly about what's going on with their business, the frustrations they have about their business that kind of are chronic, they keep going on and on. And then in some cases, everybody in the room, by the way, there is lunch served. It's a half-day event once a month for a half a day. If you're a member of the Roundtable, you're sitting in a private room, very confidential. Nobody goes out and talks about anything that's mentioned in that room. And of course, like I said before, they have lunch and snacks and so on and so forth. But the key idea is, how can I and all these other people in the room, how can we help you, Lynn? How can we help you get through this problem or this barrier, or what can I tell you? How can I be of value to you? And that happens every month. Various people, have experiences or insights or something, and they're worth sharing with either everybody else or in maybe one particular person. Sometimes there'll be some kind of a case study or an unusual project or program, and say, look, there's this going on. I want you to break up into small groups and so on, and you have to collaborate with each other and come up with some cool ideas that would maybe solve this problem, whatever it is. You see what I'm getting at. So there's group problem solving and collaboration as well. And what's really important is that you're talking to people, roughly speaking, at your level, right? These are peers now, colleagues, people that have experience kind of like your experience. So you're not talking to people that just got into business out of college. You're not talking to people that are aged out, retired, and gone. But you're talking to people that are kind of in your realm, maybe the same generation and so on. Now, this is very exciting. I myself, as I said, have been part of a group like this. It was very helpful to me. And I'll tell you one quick little exercise. And there's always exercises. The facilitator has to be prepared, and let everybody know what we're doing here. And here are the rules to the game. Take off your phone and put the phone away. We're not going to be doing any phone work here while we're talking together, that kind of thing. Well, anyway, in this particular case, a person said, I want you to draw, here's a big picture, I mean giant, big piece of paper. Draw a picture of you. Here's the markers and all the colors, and so do whatever you want to do. Go all around the room. Everybody gets a big giant piece of paper, and you've got 15 minutes to draw you. Now you can be, how do I say, figurative. You can try to be realistic. You can make little pencil sketches, whatever you want to do. That's you. That's you. So I was a part of this group, as I mentioned to you before, and everybody, it was so interesting. Everybody created a picture of themselves using the same approach, and they all had kind of stick figures, basically, what you saw. And they were all insecure, a little bit self-conscious about drawing something that was supposed to be them, and they didn't think they were artists, so it wasn't that good, but here I am, But everybody did the same thing except for me. And it was a very interesting moment. And the facilitator at that particular time kind of knew in advance, and she said, Lynn, I'd like you to do your thing. Go ahead and show how you would represent yourself to all these other people in the room, because we went around, we talked to everybody, and that's you, and you look good, and all that. So I stepped up to a whiteboard, and I got a marker here, and for some reason I just could do it. I didn't have to think at all about it. I don't know. And so I drew a profile, kind of a side of my head, just a little cartoon type figure. But then I had all these lines kind of coming out of the head or the brain or whatever, and they're just shooting across the whole entire whiteboard, right? And some of them were on top of each other. They were like, running over each other and so on. Whew. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. And everybody's like, what in the world, And finally the facilitator said, okay. She said, tell me what we're looking at here. What are we seeing right here? And I said, well, this is activity with the right hemisphere of my brain. This is the right hemisphere of my brain communicating with consciousness. That's what I say. With consciousness, a broader realm of energy, and all these ideas are overlapping, and that they're all ideas. All these lines are lines of thought, lines of possibility, lines of interest. And some of them, they come together and they twist all up. But at the end, there's all these cool business opportunities. And the room was just dead quiet. They could not believe this particular representational image. So that was a fascinating experience for me, and I think pretty much for everybody else in the room, that we have to remember more than just the external part of us, right? There's a part inside of us that's extremely complicated and important and all that. And business people in particular need to be aware of that and be reminded of that and so on. Okay, anyway, so that's exciting. You should contact NEWbraska Roundtable. It's a heck of a good time, and you'll be the better for it.